So I've decided to follow my own advice and just, start doing it rather than spending too much time thinking about it. Um, I'm starting this series of journals for my YouTube account because I've had a couple of people in the past tell me that I should really start a YouTube page. I was doing some snaps and, I guess I should just tell you a little bit about me and why any of this is interesting. I just realized I'm looking at myself and I still look like a chipmunk because I had my wisdom teeth pulled on Friday. So it's like still swollen all around here. Anyway, my name is Arash. My artist name, what I go by on social media and all that, is Mr. Arash. And that traces back to when I was a kid living in Iran. There was these family friends that we had that always called me Aghay Arash. I was very little, and just so when we came here, social media started. On MySpace, I needed to have some sort of an account, so I went with Mr. Arash, and then some other social media things started. I was like, all right, Mr. Arash, and it just kind of stuck with that. And when I got into the hip hop scene, which I'll get to in just a second, my creative partner and mentor, founder of my fraternity, Kill C-Ray, he goes by. He's like, dude, Mr. Arash is a good hip hop name. Just stick with that. So that became the name. Wow, I'm seeing how chunky my cheeks look. It's so silly. Anyway, okay. So long and short about me. Like I said, I'm an artist living in San Diego. Photography is what pays the rent. I shoot for a major public agency, which is one of the reasons that I'm here with this backdrop right now. With that job, I get to do all kinds of cool shit, like riding in on ships at dawn and seeing what sorts of like military cargo comes in, and I get to do a lot of cool stuff. So that's what pays the rent. I also am the co-host of Crappy Awesome podcast. Crappy Awesome is now, after 6 years of being on every week, is a staple in the independent hip hop community. We're very much a name in the LA scene. And it's funny because like we live in San Diego and we drive up to LA on a regular basis to record these shows, and we've been doing it for 6 years and have not missed a single week. So that's the Crappy Awesome podcast. The other show that I host is called Burner Podcast, and that covers the Burning Man community and culture. I got into the burner scene, I don't know, about 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, I think, and actually started recording for Burner Podcast before I even attended my first Burning Man. Like, that's how embedded I felt into the community. And I got a lot of side eye for that, but fuck it. You got to start doing a thing. You got to start doing a thing and doing it regularly. And as you do it regularly, you learn more about yourself and more about the thing that you want to learn about. And that's the biggest lesson that I've learned about life. Pick something and stick to it for the long haul. So Burner Podcast has been on for about 2 years now. It's coming up on the 2-year anniversary. And it is the longest running audio show about the Burning Man culture and community. So I do feel pretty proud about that. And initially we started out with 3 people working on it, myself, our producer Meg, and our online editor Alpi. And since then the team has expanded. Now there are multiple people working on it. I've had new shows started. Alkaline, Burner Podcast Presents Alkaline is actually our first spin-off of Burner Podcast, and it covers, they're basically DJ sets. So in an effort to cover all the different culture and community, in an effort to really document the culture of what's happening at Burning Man, the music is such an important part of it. So Burner Podcast is interviews. I sit down and I do interviews with interesting burners, which is redundant, by the way. They're all interesting. And Alkaline is DJ sets. So I would like to have another show that maybe covers another angle of the community. In addition to that, we're working on building a network, and I'm helping mentor multiple people and starting their own podcasts that somehow cover the scene. So why am I doing videos? I couldn't tell you. I don't have the answer to that yet. But what I am doing is I'm following my own advice of just starting to do it and doing it regularly. And the answers always illuminate themselves after you do something for a while. You make a commitment to stick to a project, and you do it for the long haul, whether it's a nice day or a shitty day, whether you're tired or you're excited, no matter what mood you're in, you stick to that schedule. And that's when you learn the most about yourself. So this is kind of like the basic introduction to who I am. My photography, people always ask what I shoot, for the stuff that pays the rent. It's like some of the big stuff, some big government type stuff. I can't get into like all of it. So, people always ask what sort of photography I do. And my favorite stuff is more like the portraits. My favorite thing is to be able to photograph somebody and have them look at it afterwards and just be blown away by how beautiful they are. But also, it's them. Like I've seen like photos that people share where they had like a professional photo session and they're really happy with these photos, but like the photos look nothing like them. They're deeply photoshopped. There's all kinds of like lighting effects, and it doesn't look anything like the person. And what I pride myself on as a photographer is that when you're in my lens, it is going to be unquestionably you. No one's going to look at that photo and not recognize you. But they'll also be wowed, as you will, with how beautiful you are. And I think the trick really is to tap into the part of ourselves that we feel most comfortable and most at peace with, that's most connected to our highest selves, and really just finding that place and hitting the shutter. As I always say, like as an artist, I'm gonna go down the hippie woo-woo rabbit hole here, but like as an artist, I don't actually feel like I'm the one creating the art. I'm the one that's had some practice hitting the shutter, and that's all I'm doing is I'm hitting the shutter. The art is flowing through me from some other place. It's super weird place to come to, but once I came to that place, my ability to create art, my ability to be a vessel for the creation of art just flew through the roof. So, on this video series, it's basically going to be a peek into sort of my productive life, if you will. I'm going to be sharing my journal, kind of the way that I journal, what sorts of things I journal about, how I make my to-do lists and all that kind of stuff. I don't know, maybe you'll get some value out of it, maybe you won't. I can tell you, like, my first lesson is to pull the trigger, like the Nike swish, just do it. Like right now, I don't feel at my most attractive. I had wisdom tooth surgery on Friday, so I know my cheeks are bloated. I'm kind of tired. I only got like 2 hours of sleep last night. I'm pretty tired. I only had like 2 hours of sleep last night because it was so freezing cold in my apartment, and I might have some sort of a circulation issue, like with my toes. So I physically could not sleep. No matter how much I wrapped myself up and turned up the heater, I couldn't sleep. And then this morning, I still didn't skip my workout. So I'm not feeling at 100%, but I just felt like I needed to pull the trigger and get this damn video up, because you just got to get past that inertia. That thing that's holding you back, that first step that scares you about just pulling the trigger and moving forward. And this is the first step. The videos are not going to be perfect. These first few videos, I'm certain I will look at in the future. The me from the future will look at these videos and say, oh my God, these are awful. But that's been the case with everything that I've done. I look at earlier photos and I cringe. I listen to earlier episodes of Burner Podcast or Crappy Awesome and I cringe harder. But pull the trigger, start doing a regular thing. What to expect on more of these videos? It's going to be me getting into my journaling, and my journal is really extensive. I have a productivity system that little by little will sort of like reveal itself as you're watching more of these videos. And I'll be sharing more about what goes into my day-to-day and how I get all this stuff done and where my journey's been. And maybe, just maybe, one of those things will resonate with you. One of those things will link to something and will inspire you to create And if I can convince just one person to take a step forward in their lives towards their dreams and passions, one person per video, I'm happy. That's all I need. So, want to learn more about that stuff? MrArash.com. That's MRARASH.com. Burner Podcast is just how it's spelled. It's burnerpodcast.com. Or you can go to crappyawesome.com. That's the other show that I co-host. That's on platformcollection.com. Lots of websites. But I think that stuff should be in the links underneath here. So I'm not hard to find. There's a lot of me online. I thought about naming this video series some sort of a reference to narcissism, but it just felt like it was too long and meandering. Anyway, welcome to the Arash Show. By the way, I got pulled over literally on my way over here, and I'm like here for work. And I was like, oh, all right, well, there it is. I'm going to have a ticket. And it's like a week before my birthday, so I got to spend my money on a damn ticket. No, officer was super nice, super friendly. Gave me a warning because of my taillight and said, just get that fixed and you're good to go. And I'm like, cool. Can't be the worst day.